Hello, everybody. How are you again? And today, by the way, I'm Linda. Those of you who come on my channel who know me know that I'm from Australia. I live on the Sunshine Coast of Queensland, which is a beautiful spot, not far from the beach, and absolutely love it here. And I love to hear where you're from. It gives me a bit of a kick when I see all the people from all over the world that we are happy and very privileged to connect to. This is video two of my tapping videos that I'm bringing to you to help you to learn how to self-heal. In my first video, I talked about the Tapping Solution, a book that was written by Nick Ortner, and I forgot to bring it out of my bookcase, but here it is. The Tapping Solution by Nick Ortner. This is Nick's first book. Now, many of you, especially those of you in America, will know that Nick and his sister, most of his family, in fact, are very much involved in helping people when it comes to healing, emotional healing. Tapping is a shortened version of the meaning of EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, a technique to free yourself of emotive and negative emotions. In our first video, we talked about stress and how the world is a stressful place to belong to, always the one. Today, darlings, I want to talk to you about trauma. Trauma is something else again. And there are many of you who may have experienced trauma from a young age, trauma from, from being abused. I mean, it's an awful subject, but let's face it, these things do exist. And people who have been abused, either verbally or physically or whatever, can go through their life with great difficulty, and it can make their life difficult in more ways than one. And there are thousands of people who just don't know how to get rid of the nightmares or the feeling and the little things that can trigger them in relation to the trauma that they may have been through in life. There's all kinds of trauma. There's you could have been in a terrible car accident. I know that my mother, those of you who follow me know I do talk about my mum a lot. Unfortunately, I lost her a long time ago. But she was a beautiful woman. But at the age of 16, she was riding her bike in London, where she was at that time, and she was hit by a double-decker bus. And the back of the bus, latched onto part of her clothing and dragged her along. And the driver didn't realise. And so my mother had all her back taken off, had, very bad injuries. And she also, lost a bit of her ear and she had a very bad knock to her head. And so she went through a very difficult time afterwards. That trauma she never really got over it, because it put in a fear. It put in a fear, especially when it came to being on the road. She never learned to drive, and so it was a terrible experience. And so some of you may have been through a shocking accident where you've been really badly hurt, and the trauma of it all, shock and the trauma that comes afterwards when you wake up and find out that this has happened to you. And in some cases, people lose limbs, which is really, really traumatic. And so there are different kinds of trauma. There are all sorts of trauma. You could have been through something recently. It doesn't matter when this happened, how it happened, it's sitting there. It's sitting there within you. And many of you are probably thinking, how do I get back to normal? How do I get to a stage where I no longer get triggered, or I no longer have in some cases I don't have nightmares or whatever? And so today I'm going to take you through a tapping on trauma. There is one area, which is the eyebrow, in the meridians that we're going to be tapping on. But this is actually the trauma meridian. Now, when you read Nick's book, you will learn to understand how this works. If you want to know about the science of it all, which has been proven many, many times, and the power of it, there are so many people on YouTube, YouTube, um, who will explain everything about EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping. There's heaps and heaps of people there, including me. So, but there are people that have done tests. They've done scientific tests on people before tapping and then after tapping when it comes to their high blood pressure, their emotions, even their auric field. So it is a scientifically proven tool, self-healing tool that is very powerful, and it works. I know it works because when I discovered this book, I tried it out, and then I started to use it as one of my tools with my clients when I was doing readings for them. Because people would come to me and they'd be stressed, blazes, because of their lifestyle or because they were going through a divorce or all sorts of things. And I would do a tapping with them while they were with me. And it made huge changes to many of them. And they realized that they could actually help themselves by taking up tapping as a regular self-healing tool. And I encourage you, all of you, to take this seriously and realize this is a gift from our Creator. If you read that book, or you don't have to buy this book, I'm not saying you have to, but because you can go on YouTube and you could probably do a search on how did tapping or EFT get discovered, and you'll find all the information there about the psychologist, and maybe you'll see the story of Mary, which is in this book, who was healed, who was the first client of the psychiatrist to be healed with the tapping with the meridian. It's interesting. So you don't have to buy this book. I'm just suggesting it, but I'm just allowing you and I'm really trying to explain to you how I discovered it. Really, I think because I just walked into a bookshop this day. It doesn't mean I didn't have enough books. I had hundreds of books, and this was staring at me. This book, and. And at the time, I had been asking my guide for some help in relation to the fact that a lot of my clients, and I'm going back a long time now, many years ago, a lot of my clients were getting more and more problems when they were coming to me. I was coming across more and more problems with stress, with their work and their lifestyle and everything. And I said to Spirit, I really, even though I was a crystal healer, I am doing healing with crystals that were quite profound. There was still this mind, these things that people have been carrying from childhood that they were having difficulty shifting or coming to terms with or just eliminating them. And so I said to my guide, I said to Spirit, then I said, I wish I could just work out how I could help them more emotionally. And I just left it at that. I just said that one day. It went out into the ethers, obviously. Sometime later, because I suppose they had to get me to the bookshop, didn't they? I came across this. And when I saw the front page, stress-free living, I thought, stress-free living. And, I thought, oh, this is interesting. I read the back and I thought, wow, this sounds very interesting. A new technique to deal with seemingly impossible situations. It's a powerful, powerful tool for improving your life on multiple levels, mental, emotional, physical. It has been proven to effectively address a range of issues from anxiety, chronic pain, put on pain, addiction and fear and weight control, financial abundance, stress relief, and so much more. That's just some of the writings on the back. And so I started to use tapping. I saw big changes, especially within myself, because the first thing I did before I started to use it with my clients. I did it on myself, and I got a hell of a lot of, I got a lot of response from my body. I really did. And so I've decided to do these tappings. I did some many years ago, some years back now, um, on my Facebook page. And I did put them over to my YouTube channel at the time. And at that time, I'd only just started on YouTube. So I'm not I've only been, this is the young channel really, because I took a year off. I won't go into details why, because it's just one of those things. I got a virus and I needed to get myself healthy. And then I came back, and now I'm back, back for good. Um, and so, really, we're just still new. If we kept going, we probably would have had thousands and thousands of more subscribers. But the thing is, I'm back, and now I'm going to go forth and do what I planned to do a few years back, and that is to help everybody who needs help, everybody who finds my channel, our channel. I say our because Spirit is who runs this. They run all this. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the messenger. But tapping has proven to be a wonderful tool for many people. And so today, everyone, I want to talk to you about trauma. Please know this: there's nothing you can say that can hurt you. And I'm just going to go through all this trauma, past, present, whatever. But you can, in your own private time, you can really talk about the trauma that you are struggling with. For example, you can go through and say, all this trauma that I got when that happened, all the trauma that I've had to live with since that happened, and you can even name people who have created trauma, all the trauma that inflicted on me. You can talk like that, because your body is going to listen and say, yes, we know about this. We know we were there when this happened, darlings. And this will make a lot of sense with all my videos that I'm going to be doing here. I think there's going to be about 5 or 6. Every one of them will be a bit different, and it'll be about a different type of emotion. But as we do them, so I'll give you a little bit more information to make you feel a lot more safe and comfortable about doing tapping on your own. Please just know this: you're not alone. You have spirit guides around you. You have teachers, helpers, and they're there to help you. They're there to guide you, look after you, and of course, they love you unconditionally. No matter who you are, what you do, you are loved unconditionally by the spirit realm. And they know everything that's going on up here, good and bad. So they know they're good. They know us. They know us better than we know ourselves. And so whatever you say, whatever you want to say when you're doing tappings privately, that they will help you with the words. They will help you to spit them out, so to speak. All you have to do is say, I'm about to tap now. Can you please help me with my words? Help me with what I need to say. And they will step up and do that. Just have faith, because that is fact, right? But when you're doing it with me, we'll keep it very basic, because you've all got different trauma. You've all experienced it in different ways. In some cases, it could be something that happened, like a car accident. In other ways, it could be something that was done to you. And when you're doing it privately, you need to own that. You need to say exactly what happened to you, so that it is acknowledged within, because it is within. We are onions. And I've talked about this. We're an onion. We all have layers and layers and layers. And this trauma it's layered itself. It may be more than, it could have layered itself when you were 3 or 4 years of age. You took it in. And over the years, it's every time you've been triggered, every time you've thought about it, every time you've even spoken about it, it's layered there, and it's layered there, and so it it's it's sitting, and it needs to be shifted. And so after we've done this, you could get a response that might be a little bit uncomfortable, darlings. Please just know this. That's a good thing. it means we've done something. We've shifted a bit. We've shifted some of it. But that doesn't mean we've shifted all of it. Because if you're, let's say you're 50 years of age, and let's say you were abused physically or whatever at the age of 6 or 7, and you've been carrying that all those years, it's become a part of your emotional life. It's become a part of within, and it's caused, a lot of uh, negative things. It's caused a lot of negative thoughts. It's caused a lot of negative feelings. In some cases, it may have held you back in life because it's created fear. Trauma is a terrible emotion, and it has a lot of various shoots from it. That's why it's important that we get rid of it. Okay. If you didn't watch my first video, stress, that's fine. You can go back to that at some stage if you want to, but let's get stuck into trauma, shall we? When we tap the side of our hand here, when we tap this is called the karate chop. This is, it wakes up your body. It wakes up every cell. It wakes up every single part of your internal physical. Okay. And oh my God, I just said even the skin. I said even the skin. And this is the meridian of change, and it can be fearful. It can be a fear of change as well. That's why we need to tap it, and we need to talk to it. What we do, we talk. Everything's done in sets of three. Three is one of the most powerful magical numbers on the planet. And I've got a thing about everything in threes. I've got that too. But this is a fear of new experience. So we tap 3 times, and 3 times is just to let our body know that this is fact. Don't be frightened. This is fact. Okay. And we're going to change it because of the words we say. It's what we say to the meridian points. It's what we tell them that creates the change. So the first set of 3 going around is acknowledging. It acknowledges that this exists within us, and we're not ashamed of it. We know it exists, but we really do need to say, well, we know it exists. And so the body accepts, okay, fine, yes, we agree. And then when we've done that, we then go in, and because the body's now listening and knows that this is a true fact, because we've told it and we've acknowledged it, we now talk to our body and allow it to let things go. We say it's okay to let it go because we're in charge. We're in charge. This is my body. This is my mind, body, soul. This is mine. This is me. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. And so we allow ourselves to get healed from it. So let's go through. We'll go through. Follow me, please. And I'll go at a pace where you can say after me. So say everything after me. I want you to take a deep breath, and I would like you, if you to have a glass of water. The reason being that we are working with energy, and your energy, my energy, I'm protruding my energy out to you. Don't think that's not happening, because it is. And so my energy is all about healing. My energy is all about helping, and also, of course, we're working with spirit. So this is all about unconditional love and guidance. I want you to get that. I want you to be okay with getting that. So make yourself nice and fluid within. Okay. And water, the elixir of life, we need plenty of that to keep our brain nice and fresh, beautiful, clean water, not out of the tap. Okay, nice big glass of water. Take a deep breath. And when you breathe out, you say, I am ready. I am ready. Okay. Just say after me. I accept and understand and know that I am struggling with the trauma in my body. I know I have trauma and I'm struggling and I have suffered with trauma. And even though that is the case, I still accept myself. I've struggled with trauma, past and present, and even though that is true, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I'm going to say one more. I know this trauma exists within. However, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to start tapping on the different meridian points. Now, I just want to let you know that this area here, this is the trauma meridian. The side of the eye, which we go to second, that's all about uncertainty and inner conflict. Under the eye is anxiety and stress. When we go under here, we feel unsupported. The chin is not coping, we're just too overwhelmed. This is the fear meridian. Now, under the arm is rejection. And then when we come up to the head, this is stimulation. This is the process of receiving. This is where our soul resides. That's why we always drink lots of water, keep our brain nice and fluid because it needs it, otherwise you get headaches. This is about the stimulation. It's okay. We receive these facts and we are confirming that we have received them. That's what the points are all about. Okay. So let's get into. We've done the three. Now we go into all of this trauma in my body. We go around to the side of the eye, the trauma that's in my body. Go under the eye, all of this trauma that I have been struggling with for such a long time. All of the trauma that has disrupted my life path for such a long time. All of the trauma that is in my body at times has created overwhelm and created me not being able to cope. All of this trauma within that has very often made me feel afraid. All of this trauma in my body, all of this trauma, all of the trauma that I cannot come to terms with, all of the trauma that I have never known what to do with, all of the trauma that causes so much anxiety and stress when I think of it, all of this trauma that triggers me when something similar happens, all of the trauma within my body, the trauma that keeps me fearful, makes me afraid at times, all of this trauma within my body. I'm aware of this trauma. I've struggled with this trauma for a long time. All of this trauma has held me back in life. I know this trauma has been a difficult thing for me to come to terms with. All of this trauma that I just don't know how to shift. All of this trauma that very often makes me feel afraid when I think of it. All of this trauma, my body, all of this terrible trauma. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Some of you already may start to feel something. Now, I know that I have had people burst into tears by this time already as well. That's okay. That's wonderful. I know it's a bit distressing when that happens, but this is your body saying, oh my God, things are about to change. And so it's brought It's brought it up to the surface. We need to do that. But now we're going to get rid of it. We're going to get rid of it. And so we start tapping again, everyone. I now release the trauma within. Down to the side of the eye, just gently. I now choose to let this go now. I now choose to release all of the trauma causing me anxiety and stress. I now let go of all the trauma that is making me feel unsupported throughout my life. I am now letting go of the trauma, past and present. I am now releasing all of the traumas that I have been through in life that have created fear at different times. I am no longer fearful. I'm letting this go, all this trauma. I'm releasing it now. I'm letting it go. I'm releasing the trauma. I'm releasing the trauma, past and present. I'm letting it go now. I'm releasing it now. I'm freeing myself of all trauma, past and present, now. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I'm releasing it now. I'm letting it go now. I'm freeing myself of all the memories of the trauma that caused me so much stress and anxiety. I'm letting it go now. I'm freeing myself of all the memories of the trauma that I've been through, past and present. I have no more fear, no more trauma fear. No trauma is going to create any more fear within me. I'm letting that go. I'm letting it go now. I'm letting it go. Letting it go, releasing it, releasing it, releasing it, releasing, releasing it now, releasing it now, releasing it now. Under the arm right here, with the ladies, the top of the bra, just under the armpit is that meridian. And for the guys, go to the middle of your armpit and just come down about that much, and you'll find that spot. But if you just go like that with a big hand and echo your under your arm, the meridian will get it. The meridian will get it. Take a deep breath. I know there's some of you out there crying. I know a lot of you have got tears pouring down your face because I'm being told that. And what I'm also being told is that that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We're not here today to hurt you or upset you. We're here to help you to learn how to heal. And that is a painful thing sometimes when we have to remember horrible stuff. Because, darlings, we bury it. We try to bury it. We try not to think about it. We try to get on with life. But if it's never been addressed, if it's still sitting there, it makes it very difficult. Even if you've talked about this, even if you've been to a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, doctor, even if you have talked about this with a wonderful person who tries to help others, it needs to be gotten out. It needs to be brought up and out. It needs to be released. And today we've just touched on just maybe just part of where that trauma is sitting. And so there are many of you will have a very subtle reaction. There are others who will get quite a dramatic reaction. Some of you may wake up in the middle of the night crying. Some of you may get a reaction tomorrow. Some of you may get a reaction 2 or 3 days. Everyone's different. Everybody is a different form of an onion. You know, if our gut, our solar plexus, where we carry all this stuff, we all carry things differently. And a lot of it is our personality and our belief systems as well. And we're all different, you know. And there are different forms of trauma. And there are many of you out there that will say, well, I've gotten rid of all that. I've let it go. I've let it go. Okay. And course, of course you've let it go. We need to get it out from down here. You know, I'm talking to you about letting go, and my guide says, don't forget the deck. And I don't usually, this is the deck, one of the decks I use when I do my reading on for your, you know, your monthly readings or your staff notes. And he just said, let's get one of those letting go decks, cards out from the deck. And, oh, okay. So I have to do as I'm told. And this is what they've given you. Make a decision that freedom is more desirable than having a negative feeling. The goal of surrender is transcendent. Our greatest destiny is total freedom. Doesn't that make sense? Freedom. Fear is healed by love. As we consistently let go of resisting our fears and allow them to be surrendered, the energy that was tied up in the fear is relinquished and now becomes available to shine forth as the energy of love. And so that's two beautiful messages from the Letting Go deck, the deck from Dr. David Hawkins, the Letting Go deck. You want to get that deck. It's a good deck, and it would be a good deck for you to maybe get a card each morning. Maybe it's a deck that you can shuffle each morning and ask your spirit guide, could you give me a message for today to help me to let go of anything that I'm still struggling with, especially those of you who are struggling with trauma. This is what my guide just said. It would be a good thing to get a daily message about letting go or affirmations or something. That would be a good deck for you. We've made a difference. Some of you will feel it. I don't know how to explain the feeling. It's very much like a sort of a peace that comes around that area of the solar plexus. The very first time I experienced it, I knew damn well I'd had a shift. And I've tapped on nearly every emotion that I feel I was struggling with, but I've done all the emotions that are in each one of these videos, and I know that it changed a lot of things for me, and I now walk with no fear whatsoever, especially around finances, things like that. Because I grew up with a mother, a beautiful mother, who was but always worrying about money. And she would verbalize it out loud. Oh, I've got the gas bill to pay. And if you ask for something, she said, oh, no, we've got to pay this. So, she was an amazing woman when it came to handling the finances because we didn't have a lot. But it was a constant verbal thing that I grew up listening to. And so I grew up also with this little bit of a thing about, oh, I've got to always make sure I've got enough money, or, and I used to have a little savings account like for a rainy day. And in my mindset, it was like, well, I'm okay because I've got that there if anything ever happens. So that's what I did for myself. But I still did it because of the fear of not when I started tapping, I actually tapped on that. I actually tapped on the fear of financial loss and things. I actually tapped on it, and I brought my mother into my tapping. And even though I have this fear around money because I grew up listening to fear around money, that's the way I put it. And so I acknowledged that and acknowledged within me that that was why I had that fear. And once I finished that tapping, a lot of that it just went. It just sort of went. And I didn't have a lot of trouble shifting a lot of my stuff because I guess because of what I do with the living, I work with spirit, have a conditional faith and love for them as they do for me. Uh, and but I still benefited. I still benefited from the different kinds of tappings that I did. And I would sit with my clients and I would tap and show them, and we would tap on their emotions, and I was showing them. And I was also, if we were tapping on stress, they were coming, following me, and like we are here doing this. So I was teaching them, and I was also benefiting from for what we were doing together. This is a wonderful tool. I've always said, and many people agree with me, that this is a gift from the heavens, because the universal masters, the great masters, our creator, the angels, the archangels, all of those who do a lot of work in the spirit realm for us all, they are very concerned about the way our planet is heading when it comes to the amazing technology. They say, well, yes, well, the technology is great because it look at this. I look at Linda's on YouTube, so Linda can do a lot of work on our behalf. And so there's many people like me that are doing this. However, there's another side to technology, and that is that it's very frustrating. It can be very, very frustrating. And also it can be harmful to people who are involved in it all day long, learning it and studying it and working with it, because a lot of those people, they don't have a break from it. So it can also do a little bit of harm if we're not careful. I will be talking about that in the future when the spirit does want to talk to the world, the people out there about that in the future, and we will do a video on that. So that's another subject. But stress, trauma, pain, guilt, grief, these are all emotions that are very serious and that need to be addressed, and they need to be removed. Please take responsibility for your health. Please, it's up to you. If you want to be stress-free, if you want to move forward in life, if you want to get rid of all the negative stuff that you've been carrying for years and it's just not no good for you, if you really want to do that, if you really want to get yourself a lot healthier, especially in your mindset, then you need to take responsibility. If this is a gift for each and every person on this planet, it's a self-healing tool that you can do anywhere, anytime, whenever you need it. If you're in a job where you're working with awful, stressful people who are very toxic, and one day you just think, oh my goodness, man, you can go and sit in your car, you can go into the bathroom and you can tap. I mean, you don't have to talk out loud when you're tapping. You just talk to yourself. Your body's listening to everything. You don't have to talk out loud. People who can't speak, they, their mind is still functioning. Their guides know what they're saying, what they're thinking. So you can do this anyway. You can go into the bathroom, do some tapping. Oh, this stress, and you can come out feeling so much better. It's a tool, a self-healing tool that is a gift to humanity. That is my belief system, and I know that is true. There are a lot of people on YouTube helping you. There to help you to go through different types of tapping. A lot of people have lost weight. A friend of mine did. She lost all her weight because of tapping. Nick Ortner and his sister and family, they do a lot of work on YouTube. They hold seminars, I believe, and summits and all that in America. And they do some wonderful work and they've spent many years doing some wonderful work helping people to heal. So look him up, on YouTube. And if you would like to receive my other videos that I'm going to be doing in relation to tapping and any other information that comes through while we're doing that for my guides, then, if you would like to receive a notification when you subscribe, just don't forget the bell and tick on all. If you don't want to subscribe to my channel, that's your choice. I'm still out there. You can look me up anyway. You don't have to feel pressured. Don't feel pressured. If you do, of course we're grateful. Of course we're grateful. I love comments. If you would just like to make a comment, that's fine. I'll try and send you a little heart that you know I've read it. If you'd like, if this helps you, please would you like to tick like, because that helps the channel as well. We're all looking for help, I guess. But please don't feel pressured. Don't feel pressured. I know you probably get fed up with people asking for you to subscribe, but that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it goes. And if you subscribe, and I get lots of subscribers, that means that I'm doing my job. I'm helping. That really keeps me up. That really lifts me up to know that my work is being acknowledged and people are looking forward to gaining more insight or more help with their journey this time around. So keep your eyes open. This will be video two, trauma is video two. There will be others, and we look forward to seeing you again. Please take care. Tap. If you get a reaction and you feel a bit, ooh, it's because you've shifted something. Tap again. If you're tapping on trauma and you get a reaction, wait a day, tap. You'll get more response. If it's starting to make you feel a bit thin in your tummy, drink lots of water, just tap again. You'll get it out. It's stuck in there and it's trying to get out. You will not get sick. This cannot make you sick. It can only help you heal. Please have faith. Until we meet again, thank you for sharing this time with us. We look forward to connecting with you with the next few videos that we're going to do on E.F.T, Emotional Freedom Technique, tapping. Bye.